Anyway, we're going to begin our show today. We got some interesting stuff that I want to share with you guys.
7
and hopefully
6,
you'll be around for the remaining of
5,
the show.
4, 3, 2, 1.
Okay, here we go. Prophetic Encounter Radio live. We're going to start off with this music by Abish Broad called Kumo. Listen to a live rendition of the Prophetic Encounter with Gil Burgos. Friday, Shabbat is here. It's February 4th, 4:59 p.m. I hope you guys been doing well with this crazy weather that we've been having here. We just had a northeaster here in the East Coast. It wasn't too bad, but it was bad enough. But today we got showers, icy rain, and it's been washing away all that beautiful black snow that's on the ground. Oh yeah. Okay, so now I'm just gonna stop right here because I think when I play too much music, I get muted. No matter what I play, Facebook is like, to me, I don't know, they out to get me? I don't think so, but sometimes I wonder who they after. Anyway, moving right along, I wanted to talk to you guys not anymore about Facebook. I just wanted to talk to you about this article that I just saw on Apple News. Actually, no, it wasn't Apple News. My bad. It was from the New York Times. Now, as I titled this show, is China the example? Think about it for a second. If you know the story, what's going on from way when this whole pandemic started with COVID, and it was all blamed on the Asian people, and they were saying it came from China, and Trump was big on that. That's why he stopped all the people from Asia coming over here. And if you've been around as long as I have, I know, that's a lot of trouble when you start picking on people and you start picking on countries. And it kind of backfired on him, I believe, because of what he said, I think. And then it caused a lot of animosity towards the Asian people, especially here in New York City. Unfortunately, they started attacking Asian people, punching women and men on the street and attacking them. And, it was bad. It shouldn't, you don't, one person or one action that shouldn't stereotype any nation. That's not fair to people who are innocent and don't have nothing to do with that. You can't, as they always say, can't throw the baby out with the bathwater. And that's exactly what had happened. The Asian people had gotten a bad name, and they still getting a lot of repercussions because of COVID. And I don't get into that stuff. I just say, listen, it's here. We got to deal with it wherever it came from. I really don't care. I just want this thing to go away. I know you do too. I know it's a spiritual thing. That's what I can say. I know it's a spiritual thing. That's from the enemy. But interesting enough, not to get too deep into what I said about where it came from, I wanted to talk to you what I found very interesting article that I saw this morning from the New York Times. And it says here, it's written by a guy named David Leonhardt and another guy, Ian Prasad. And they start off by saying, good morning, China's zero COVID policy has kept deaths very low. Can it continue? And let me bring a little further down. It says, Chinese exceptionalism. I'm going to read it. It says, world leaders are increasingly deciding that their countries need to figure out how to live with COVID-19 rather than minimize the number of cases. Here in New York City, our cases are going down. Thank God for that. I mean, deaths are deaths. We still have them, but our cases are going down. Thank the Lord for that. And it also says Britain, France, Denmark, Turkey, and other parts of Europe have loosened restrictions. Australia has dropped mask mandates and reopened its border. South Africa has lifted curfews and requires schools to fully open. But it says here, China is doing none of this. So you're telling me that China has not loosened restrictions. China has not opened its borders. China has not dropped the mask mandate. China still has curfews, and I'm pretty sure China is doing remote learning. But the issue is this: is that a good example? What do you think? Do you think that's a good example? That's my question for you today. I wanted you just to think about that. You can write your comments right there below on the comment section here on the Facebook chat, or the comments on below this live video. You tell me what you think about what I just said thus far. If you think that that's a good example, I don't know. You tell me. Maybe it is, maybe it isn't. But you're gonna tell me one way or another. Tell me what you think about this thing that's going on with them. Another one by Abbas Broad, Mikimi, live on the Prophetic Encounter, Jewish music all day long. Shabbat Shalom, everyone. Now, if I do this right, this music is kind of incognito that Facebook monitors can't pick it up. That's a lot of reasons why I just do a lot of Yiddish music, because they can't track it. They're not up on this stuff. Hallelujah. All right, we're live on the Prophetic Encounter. Have you been to the Prophetic Encounter radio show? Tune in. Go to my website, www.gilburgles.com, for more information. Okay, here we go. We're gonna go now, and let me see. I'm gonna bring out my article once again, so I can continue going on with this stuff, because I found it very, very interesting what China is doing, and you think is something that you think is right or is wrong. Because let me tell you something, they are getting results, and I know it's bad to be, I'd say, on lockdown, but if it takes what it takes. My God, we have to look at this for a second. I'm not for certain things. Let's make this clear. There's certain things I'm not really with. I'm not for some of this stuff, but some of the stuff, it's a possibility that it might, you have to implement maybe some of it to make it work, so we really get a hold of this stuff, because we're still having spikes here and there, and then Omicron is being a pain in the neck. It doesn't want to go, and what's next? Another variant? We have to really do something about this, because we're in a different year. And how long are we going to go on with this stuff? Right here in New York City, we were just this close of getting rid of the masks. The new governor had instituted another law a few months back that she put it back into effect. And then it almost went away, because she was, out of her jurisdiction. She was implementing laws beyond her legal, some legalities with a judge, and she overstepped her boundaries. And they told her, listen, you can do so much. Yeah, you're the governor here in New York City, but there's certain things when it comes to health issues, you have to comply with other laws and other stuff that you don't have authority. We didn't give you that much authority. I mean, the other mayor who resigned, Andrew Cuomo, had that authority to do that. But when he resigned, she stepped in, and they told her, well, hold your horses, lady. We're not giving you all this authority just yet. We're going to play it by ear and see how well you do. I mean, these are my words. But anyway, that's pretty much how it went, and that's how it is. Even still, she's under scrutiny, under a close microscope, if you ask me. And what happened was she overstepped her boundary. She put this law into effect, and then everybody's bound with masks again, or even down to little kids in schools, and everybody's upset about it. And now they're vaccinating kids. Now they want to prove something with kids under 5 years old can get vaccinated. I mean, God, they're going to be vaccinating our pets soon. My cat's going to get a vaccination. We'll see. You're going to get vaccinated, because they're asking for vaccinations, and I don't think you have even one. So they're gonna vaccinate you. We'll see. I know my wife's not gonna be happy about that. I'm only kidding. But anyway, that's the deal. I mean, I think some of these restrictions, I think they're a little bit off the hook, off the wall, but some of them are working. But maybe they just won't work everywhere. That's another thing to consider. I think that some of this stuff, it could work, but I think every country is different. I think they should just weigh it out and see what works for your country. It has a lot to do with that. Some countries are more dense, more populated, whereas some aren't. As for example, here in New York City, we got people on top of each other, climbing on top of each other. We have nowhere to put them. People are sleeping everywhere. we got so many people, we don't know where to put them here. And we have a densely populated state. And here we have to do what we have to do. Whereas if you go out west, which is like nobody out there, farmland, I don't think this is going to work. So I think it has to be regulated by territory. And I think when it comes to countries, it should be done the same way. You can't do everyone the same way because everything is different. You know, there's some people living here on farms and there's some people here who live in the city. There's people that have subways, and there are no subways in some places. And so that's like that, not just here in New York, you know, all over the world. There are places that, again, there are a lot of people walking around, and there's people that congregate, and there's people that go to bars, and there's people that go to restaurants and to Broadway shows like here and in movie theaters, and it can get crowded. But there are places that you don't have these things. And why should the people that don't have these things suffer for the people that do? And I'm just speaking out of my own opinion, and I have all the right to do that. But still in all, let me read on a little bit. It says here, as the Beijing Olympics begin, China continues to pursue a zero COVID policy. The Olympics will have few fans, as it has almost 2 years. Oh no, I'm sorry, as it has for almost 2 years. I have to put my glasses on. China responds to new outbreaks by imposing strict lockdowns. Ouch. In the northwestern city of Lanzhou last year, officials told roughly 4 million people to stay home. Goodness. In response to fewer than 50 known cases. China's strategy has had both major successes, holding deaths to be low at low levels, which is good, and major costs disrupting daily life even more than in other countries. It makes for a fascinating case study at a time when Americans disagree vehemently and often along partisan lines about whether to maintain COVID precautions or return to normal. Hey, like I said before, you know, they have their own strategy. What works for them works for them. And again, I don't think it's going to work for everybody. I think everybody has to really check this out. What works for you works for you. Anyway, we're going to continue right now with a little bit more music here on the Prophetic Encounter. If you're tuned in, this is Gil Burgos coming at you live from New York City. Enjoy the music. We got here Shomel Israel from Shomel, Brazil, right here live coming at you. Stick around. We got more to come.